Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the broadcast. Today we have the Harvey Lakers Middle School volleyball team against Bliss Carmen Middle School. I'm here with David White in the David McMullen Gymnasium. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, after a restful weekend, ready to get back at it with a busy week of volleyball here.
Oh, that's true. Can't quite have enough of sports these days, huh?
Definitely not.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
It's another jam-packed week as we've got the middle school girls about to take the court. Senior boys play here on Tuesday and Thursday, and the senior girls are here on Wednesday. So looking to get started for a great week of volleyball.
That I am too. Alrighty, well, for tonight's starting lineup, we have number 12, Chloe Grass, number 14, Emmy McMullen, number 15, Luna Chevalier, number 17, Kylie Grieve, number 5, Holly Henry, and number 11, Molly Grieve. So, not quite the tallest lineup you'd see in a volleyball game, but I'm sure they'll get it done.
Yep. Middle school, some of the girls start to get some height, but there's always a big disparity. Kids ranging from grade 6 to grade 8, so.
Yeah, that is very true.
Lots of diversity here.
Harvey starting off the serve.
Harvey has the ball to start things off. There's Chloe Grass. Getting ready for the first serve of the game now. Ball is up, and that just falls out of bounds.
Very lucky by Bliss Carmen, just missing the ball.
Yeah, definitely went to go play that, but no, they got away with one there. As we've got, that was, Bridget Grassman. So Grass and now Grassman as Bliss Carmen gets another. Lakers almost got their 3 hits, but that's not going over. Grassman scores another. Here's Bridget Grassman again. Serve is up. Holly Henry looking for Chloe Grass, just out of reach. And that goes back to the Eagles. It's Grassman. Chloe Grass tries to direct that to a friend. Instead finds the Lakers bench. Anything the Lakers should be doing here, Charlie, to adjust?
Well, I'd probably say Lakers need to maybe back up a little bit more because number 3, Bridget, she's been wailing those balls and has been getting quite close to the back line.
Yeah, it's you don't always see the overhand serve in middle school volleyball.
No, that you don't.
There's a nice one fielded by Grass, but again, out of reach by a teammate. So Bliss Carmen storming out to a 7-0 lead. Big thanks to Zoe Henry, who is running the score sheet. Kayla Harris along for Moral Sport. Here we almost had something there. That was put up by Kylie Grieve. Holly Henry and Molly Grieve both trying to get there for the Lakers. Here's Grassman again. Over the head of the defender. Got quite the run here by the Eagles.
What's on top over there? Is that Mackenzie or?
Again, Grassman. Oh. Kylie Grieve takes one in the face, but she's all good. Get some applause from the crowd on that one. This ball again. Holly Henry directing that towards the net, but that will fall short. And on that, we've got Coach Casey DeMerchant calling a timeout as she'll bring the girls in. And we get ready to head down to Joe and Hannah Finney.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Joe Gregory, accompanied by new member
I'm Hannah Finney.
How's it going, Hannah?
Well, I'm good, and you?
Oh, pretty good. So, Hannah, what's one thing you would want to talk about that you've seen this set?
Well, I think that they could have some more energy with the game, and they're doing good so far. And yeah.
Yeah, some good pointers, yeah. The middle school girls struggled a little bit their last game too, so we'll see if they pick up the intensity. The score is 11-0, so that's pretty heartbreaking right at the start, but knowing coaches Ava Grieve and Casey DeMerchant, they're definitely telling their team, hey, we're the Laker girls, we can step our game up. So, yeah, as the girls take the floor, we'll send you back up to the crew. All right, see ya.
All right, thank you to Joe and Hannah for that analysis as we come back up here to the action in the skybox. Where we last left our adventurers, we had an 11-0 lead by the Eagles. Bridget Grassman has extended that to 12-0. It's on a very nice run. Fielded by Grass. Molly Grieve puts it up. Oh! Bit of confusion and hesitation there on that last hit. Lakers just can't get the third to send it over. But they fielded it. There's a good start. There's another field by Kylie Grieve. Couple of Grieves out there on the court. Got to be careful there. It's Grassman again. McMullen played that. Oh, tough break as that might have been going out. Here's Grassman again. Her team up 15-0. Goes between a couple defenders. Here's Grieve again. It's fielded by Henry to Grass and just out of reach for Luna Chevalier. As the Eagles extend their lead to 17. It's Bridget again. Grassman to Chevalier. And again, a bit of hesitation there as no one's quite sure what to do on that third hit. Any ideas what the Lakers need to get back into this, Charlie?
Well, I definitely say move the defense back a little bit because friggin' Bridget, her serves haven't been quite the weakest, so they're not going to land in front of the net. So if you move it back, it probably won't hurt as much. But there's honestly not as much you can do. But as I say that, she just hits the net and it just rolls over. So keeping us on our toes.
Yeah, I guess so. We'll call that a bit of an announcer's jinx.
Yeah.
I guess they're bound to happen. 20-0 here in favor of the Eagles. He's got a high serve by Grassman, and that still falls over the head of the defender. I think Lakers are guessing now about how these balls are going to fall.
Yeah.
Here's Grassman again. That one snags the top of the net, but does roll over. So this might be Bridget Grassman in the Eagles. There's Holly Henry. Over to Luna Chevalier, who gets it over. And there's a point for the Lakers. Big celebration there as they look to put a few more of those on the board.
Yeah. Definitely do have to give a big cheer after stopping Bridget in her 22-0 run.
Yeah, that's an excellent run. Service by Chevalier does fall out of bounds. So we rotate through, and it will now be Paige Langille ready to serve for the Eagles. Nice service by Langille. That's fielded by Grassman, but can't quite get to a friendly face. So now we have set point at the hands of the Eagles. And that will do it. A forgettable set for the Lakers faithful, but the girls showed good resilience there, kept focused, got themselves a point, and we'll look to improve on that for sure for the next one. We'll get ready to head down now to Joe and Hannah.
That was quick.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So, Hannah, what did you think about that first set?
Well, it was pretty tough, and the score was like 1-25 or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty elite ball on the Eagles end, pretty much, and Lakers could have done a little bit more, I think. What
Yeah.
about you?
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, so a little unusual scoring game. You never see games like that much where it's only 1-25 in volleyball, but looking for it to spike up in the second set with the Harvey girls and just get more communication going. So today for the minor officials, keeping scoreboard is Zoe Henry, big sister of Holly Henry, the middle school girl tonight. And then beside her is Kayla Harris helping out with scoreboard. So big shout out to them and the officials and coaches making this game possible. And also a very big shout out to you, Hannah. Thanks for joining the team.
You're welcome.
We're always looking for students and people looking to want to help out or join. So if you're a Harvey student, you're watching this right now, don't be afraid to walk up to David White or Mr. Mike Fletcher and sign up. It's a pretty fun thing to do, eh?
Yeah.
Alrighty. So, what are you looking forward to, Hannah?
I'm looking forward for the Lakers to step it up a little bit and have more energy in the game. You know. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Thanks to Tian Arnold running the camera work down here and our tech crew up top. And our commentators, I believe it is maybe Mike Fletcher and David White, but I also think one of the booth boys, Charlie Gregory, who's usually with me, is up there too. But yeah, alrighty. Well, as the girls are about to take the floor, we'll send you back up to the booth for commentary. See you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back up to the action. And hopefully Harvey's coach has switched up the lineups we have seen. So hopefully all three coaches, Casey DeMerchant, Ava Grieve, and Mackenzie Grieve, have probably give some motivation up to the team and maybe even get the set here. We'll have to see.
Yep. You could see even the girls coming off the court at, well, I think it was 11-0 at the timeout, and at the end of a 25-1 defeat, which is tough to swallow.
Yeah.
They still seem pretty positive in terms of the energy and attitude. So you can tell the girls like playing for these coaches, and hopefully they take that attitude into a better second set and a better result.
That we do, yeah. We see Harvey's bench standing up now, trying to give the people on the floor some motivation.
Yeah. Official Darren Doucette is going over all the lineup. We should thank him. He's working the game solo, as well as our minor officials tonight, Zoe Henry and Kayla Harris.
Yeah, and for Bliss Carmen, we have number 2, Emma Kitchen, serving ball. Overhand serve. Over to number 1. Can't quite see the number from here. I apologize.
I think that's Ella Durrett, front and center.
Ella Durrett, thank you.
We're in number 7.
Overhand serve, but couldn't quite get the right side on the ball. Harvey gets the point, quite excited about it. For Harvey's end, we have Danica Hubert serving the ball. Overhand serve, couldn't quite get it over the net, unfortunate.
Service, I think, one of those hardest skills to learn in volleyball, especially at the middle school level, when you've kind of gotten used to underhand, but you're just starting to introduce that overhand, which is a totally different technique.
Definitely a hard step to take. Number 16 for Bliss Carmen, Madison Woodworth serving the ball. Couldn't quite get the right lob on it, send it over the net, but Ella Durrett serving for Harvey. Underhand serve, just couldn't quite get it. Yeah, serving definitely is quite a challenge for the middle school level in volleyball, but as we've seen, Bliss Carmen has no problem. Pretty darn when you're getting it to a spot, quite in an early age. Number 10 for Bliss Carmen, getting a clean ace, Allie Hanna. Bliss Carmen definitely being a stronger serving team.
Yeah, you can definitely tell they've practiced that.
Yeah.
So, I think almost all of their girls have gone for overhand serves so far.
Yeah. Definitely seems like the coaches encourage the overhand serve at a young age.
Yeah.
Alrighty, number 3, Sarah Draw serving for Harvey. Sarah Draw sending it back, but couldn't quite get it over the net.
Looking to give someone a souvenir in the crowd, I think, with that one.
Yeah, I guess. Really trying to keep the crowd on their toes, make sure you're paying attention. Number 1 for Bliss Carmen, serving it over for Danica, sending it into the stands again. Number 1, Rebecca Moore with the underhand serve, sending it over to Emma Gibson. Up by Danica, sending it over. Sent back by number 4, Lily. Over by number 14, Sarah Dross keeping in the air. Macy's keeping up. Sent over by number 18, Adeline Albert. Received by Danica. Oh, to the other side for Bliss Carmen, number 4, Lily. Trying to put it up, but got stuck by the net. Quite a good rally by these girls.
Yeah, I'd say the best rally we've seen all night. Good plays on both teams.
Yeah.
Some good communication, too.
Everyone putting in some good digs. Sent over by number 14. Up by Macy. Couldn't quite get it over the net, though. Definitely has turned into an intense game, this set.
Yeah, much closer than the last one, that's for
Yeah,
sure.
definitely more lively. Number 4 for Bliss Carmen, Lily. Over, received by Sarah Draw, sending it back over. Received by number 14, Chloe Party. But tried to hit it over with the one hand, but slipped off and went out of bounds.
Nice response by Dross, who came pretty far up from her position in the back.
Yeah, she'd be the one to dive in on the ball and try to save the play. Number 16, number 16.
That's Maisie Alexander.
Maisie Alexander. Serving ball, couldn't quite get over. Received by Danica, up by Emma Gibson. Sent over by Sarah Dross, but aiming for the Bliss Carmen bench. Maybe trying to give them a little taste of their own medicine, you never know. Number 14 serving for Bliss Carmen. Chloe Purdy. Sent up by Maisie. Was going out of bounds, but you can't quite judge when the ball's coming at you. So.
Yeah, it's a hard call to make. I think it's one of those things you see definitely in high school, the veteran players who always tend to have a better instinct for that. I think it's just by virtue of having played so much volleyball.
Yeah, you're also definitely going to need some help from your teammates there to judge. Up by Ella Durrett and sent into the net by Sarah Draw. So seems Harvey has kind of slowed down a little bit on the pace, but the bench is still standing, trying to give them some motivation. Number 14 for Bliss Carmen, Chloe Party serving it over again. This bench called out, but
tough call again is
yeah,
ball's just inside this time.
Yeah, that it was definitely hard to judge from the other side of the bench, but
for sure.
Doesn't
and the instinct, I think, is for the younger kids always to play it right. You see the ball coming, and you're not sure if you're gonna make it in time. You always just want to go make contact just in case.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, probably coaches don't like to be gambling on such plays here in the early levels. So. Chloe Party sending it over. Couldn't quite get it over the net though. Point for Harvey. Getting the motivation up in the gym while Emma Gibson serves the ball. Underhand serves. Gets it over the net, but couldn't quite stay in the out-of-bounds pole. Point for Bliss Carmen.
Bliss Carmen's showing some pretty good discipline there as that ball came pretty close to number 10. That'd be Allie Hannah, sorry. Did well to let that go by.
Yeah, definitely the two main ideas to get your team used to is probably communication and serving. Would be a very good idea at the start. But Harvey calling the ball out and getting the point. 7-14. Bliss Carmen in the lead. Danica Goubert for Harvey serving. Overhand serve, but couldn't quite get her hand underneath the ball, so ends up short. point for Bliss Carmen. Number 16 for Bliss Carmen, Madison Woodworth, serving once again. Serve, just barely underneath the net.
Those can be tricky, though. That was coming over pretty close to the top of the net.
Yeah.
If you get that angle just right, it falls pretty much before you can do anything about it.
Ella Durrett serving, couldn't quite get it over the net. Seems like Harvey's kind of struggling with their serves tonight. Number 10 for Bliss Carmen, Allie Hanna. Overhand serve with a bullet behind it in between all the players. Could definitely feel the heat all the way from up here.
Oh, yeah, that's a nice serve by Hannah. Coming in fast.
Yeah. Overhand serve once again over to Ella Durrett, but hits it into the stands. Point for Bliss Carmen. It's probably a harder serve to receive by her end, sending it just close to the lines and making you gamble a little bit. Serves again overhand, but just misses off the ball and hits it into the side pole. Sarah Dross serving for Harvey. Sends it over to number 4, back over to Maisie. Just over the net and makes number 14, Chloe Party, die for it, but sends it underneath the net. Definitely a hard play to receive for Bliss Carmen.
Certainly. That was a nice response on the initial service, though, by Lily Dontrama. That serve came a little closer to the front of the net than I think Bliss Carmen was expecting, but Dontrama was right there to send it back. Bought her team some time to get into position.
That's true, yeah. Number 1 for Bliss, Rebecca Moore, trying to get it over the net, couldn't quite. Number 18 for Harvey, Adeline Albert, now serving. High lob by Harvey, sends it over, just over the net for Emma Gibson. Couldn't quite get the dig to buy her team some time, but...
Again, really tough to get close to that. I know if I were down there, I'd always be thinking about touching it accidentally and kind of getting your own head, trying to gauge your position.
Yeah, that's true. Number 4, Lily for Bliss Carmen, sending it over to Danica, and she just hits it off her arm, sending it out of bounds. A little bit of confusion. Zoe Henry, the scorekeeper for tonight, accidentally giving Harvey the point there. Being a little bit biased, I must say.
Well, there's the hometown advantage, we'll call it
Always, yeah, that's true. Danica sending it over to Macy, but Macy couldn't quite get it over the net. Number 4 for Bliss Carmen. Lily serving again. Over to Emma Gibson, who gets it over the net. Back to Emma. Back over to Sarah Draws. Bullet over to Emma Gibson, but she wasn't quite ready for it. Caught her by surprise.
Tough break for the Lakers there. That catches Gibson totally by surprise.
Yeah.
Coming in low, and before you know it, you've got a double or triple hit.
Yeah. Danica calling out for Harvey and getting the point there. Macy Alexander serving for Harvey now. Underhand serve. Just under. Didn't quite have the power to get over through the top of the net, but definitely a close play. Number 14 for Bliss Carmen, Chloe Party.
Went on a bit of a run earlier in this game. She
Yeah.
can repeat that.
I think she was serving overhand, though, last time we saw her, so maybe a little bit of a switch-up by her end.
Either way, nice play at the net front by the Lakers, keeping this thing alive.
Emma Gibson serving once again. Just off the right side of her hand. Sends it into the stands once again. And that's the end of the set. Bliss Carmen winning 25-13. A closer set than last time, but it's all Harvey put in a very good effort this time and probably gave their coaches something to work with. So very, very happy by the girls' performance. Anyway, we'll send you guys down to the booth for some analysis.
Welcome back, everyone, to the David McMullen Gymnasium. The Harvey girls sadly lost that set, but they played a lot better than they did in the first set. I think they were listening to you, Hannah. They were playing more energized, cheering a lot more, and
Yeah.
so I think they heard you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I believe since it is middle school, only goes first team to win 2 sets. So I think the middle school girls did lose. Usually the games only go an hour and a half, so they have an hour left. So, but we also did start a little bit late, I think, on the streams and stuff. Hannah, anything you want to point out?
Well, so far they're doing pretty good. And like you said, like they heard me with the positive energy, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what did you think about the official dancing up in the stands when the music was playing?
Oh, that was fun. Like, when I heard that, I was like, yeah. Yeah.
It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, hoping the girls come out with a little bit more fire. Even though they did lose the game, it'll be nice for them to win a set, get their morale boosted and stuff. And yeah, we like to give a big thanks to David White and Michael Fletcher for making this all possible, and our tech crew, Ashton Little, and I believe it is Austin Jameson or Logan Wall. One of them's up there. I wasn't really getting a chance to see them, but well, big shout out to them and people that couldn't come out tonight, Nolan Bongreer and Delaney McElwain, and another thanks to behind the camera for us, Tiana Arnold. Yeah. Oh, and I guess we should give a thanks to my little brother, eh?
Yeah.
No, but yeah, hope they're making it entertaining up here, so yeah. So, Hannah, how's it feeling like for this to be your first time? What are you thinking about?
Well, my first time doing this, I think it's really good. And so far I was kind of nervous, but it's pretty fun doing it.
Yeah, I mean, you're doing pretty well, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, the girls are taking the floor, so I'll give you back up to the Skybox crew for your commentary.
Alrighty, well, thank you for the analysis, Joe and Hannah Finney. Alrighty, well, we're back up to the Skybox. For the lineup, we got Chloe Grass. We have we have Kylie Grieve, Luna Chevalier. We have Emma McMullen. And serving for Harvey, we have Chloe Grass. Sent over by number 8 on Bliss Carmen. Back up into the air by Luna. Over in the net by Chloe Grass. Big celebration by Harvey Lakers there as they get the first point in the set.
Always nice to get that first point, especially with this particular lineup having come off that 25-1 defeat in the first set.
Yeah, they're definitely looking for some revenge. Chloe Grass sending the ball just outside of the line, making Bliss Carmen gamble for it, but number 3, Bridget, saying it's out. So good play by her.
Should give a shout out to Bliss Carmen coaches Jason Gillis and Angela D'Entremont. Clearly spent a lot of time working on serves, getting their girls ready.
Yeah, definitely something you can see that they've encouraged to get their team ready for the league and try and dominate a little bit. So served by number 13 from Bliss Carmen, Anna Olay. Sent over by Luna Chevalier, back over by Bridget, number 3. Sent back to Bridget, put up in the air. Luna sending it back over to Bliss Carmen's side. Up by number 9, Katie. And right in front of number 11, Molly Grieve. But wasn't quite sure what to do with it, so a little bit of miscommunication there.
Tough break there at the front of the net for the Lakers, but you're right, that communication, that's the key.
Number 13 serving the ball. Anna Oleni.
So this is Anna O'Leary at the serve for the Eagles.
5-1 lead Bliss Carmen has built up here, so Harvey trying to get back into the game. Molly Grieve up. Holly Henry trying to get it over to Macy Chevalier, but didn't quite have the reach or the power to get it over. number 13, Anna O'Leary with a, what is this, 4-0 run now? But as I say that, the commentary jinx comes at us once again and puts it into the net.
You can always rely on it.
Always can, yeah. Didn't quite mind it this time, though. It was a point for Harvey.
Very true.
Luna Chevalier serving for Harvey. Overhand over to number 3, Bridget. And Harvey with a big cheer. Bench getting in the cheer as well.
Yeah, definitely hitting some high decibel levels here tonight in the
Yeah,
David
but
Mullen
they're-
Gymnasium.
Making sure everyone can hear it tonight. Bridget sending it over to Molly Grieve. Couldn't quite get it in the air as it rolls underneath the net. Close play. Number 9 for Bliss Carmen, Katie Kernew. Up by, this is hard, up by Kylie Grieve. Sends it over to Bliss Carmen's side getting the point. Molly Grieve serving for Harvey. Overhand serve. Lands out of bounds. Point for Bliss Carmen.
Smart play by the Eagles, letting that one go out of bounds. Generally something the Eagles seem, as a team, pretty good at, making that call.
Yeah, a lot of chemistry you can tell on that side. Up by Kylie Grieve, but team wasn't quite there to send it over. Number 15 for Bliss Carmen, a new server, Kenzie Price. Sending over to the net to Kylie. Lands in the back corner for Harvey. Tough break for the girls.
Tough break is directing it on that first hit. Seems to be a tough spot for the Lakers right now.
Up by Holly Henry, rather. Didn't quite have enough power to buy her team some time by putting the ball in the air, but good play.
It was nice work by Emily Mullen at the front of the net, too, diving to try to keep that in action.
Yeah, definitely a challenge to be off bounds and try and get the ball straight up in the air. Emmy McMullen trying to get into the ball, didn't quite have the reach.
It's a tough one to judge when it's going straight up, straight down. Again.
Yeah, ball gets lost in the lights pretty easily, too. Emmy McMullen hit the ball once again, but couldn't quite get the right direction on it. Number 15, Kenzie, sending the ball over. Up by Emmy. Sent over by Kylie. Number 13. Anna sending it over to the other side. Chloe Grass trying to get a touch on the ball, but rolled right off her arm.
And a tough break as that one looks like it could have been going out of bounds. But, of course, that first instinct, you're always going to want to play it.
Yeah. Up by Molly Henry. Sent over by Emmy. Big spike by Holly Henry. But number 17 sent it back.
Yeah, I haven't seen too many of those hits so far.
Yeah, not really what you'd expect to see in a girls' volleyball game, but you never know. Sent over, number 8 trying to receive it from Bliss Carmen's side, but couldn't quite volley it over the net. So big cheer by Harvey's side. You can definitely tell the bench and the players are still in the game, so they haven't quite given up yet. Luna Chevalier just getting the touch on the ball, sending it over. Bridget bumping it underneath the net. Holly Henry sending it over to Luna Chevalier, sending it to the back line. They just get a touch on it, but it's a bullet over to the front line, and Emmy McMullen couldn't quite get it over to the front. Tough play, but very close.
Oh, man. I think that is Emerald Kinnebury of the Eagles who took that to the face, but kept it alive. Great determination by the visitors.
I mean, McMullen keeping the ball in the air. Well, the two girls clashing into each other, but it's all right as this is only, I think, just the beginning of the season, so a lot of improvements to be made. Luna Chevalier expecting the ball coming at her with more force, but just lands short.
So if you're just joining us, Bridget Grassman here had a 22-point serve run to start the first set. Probably won't, well, no, she won't be able to match that this time around, but will definitely look to make a similar big addition to her team's lead.
Yeah, definitely was an interesting start to the live stream. It was quite an intimidating factor. But what would you say would be the strong point in Bliss Carmen tonight?
That's a good question. I mean, their serving certainly comes to mind as a team. Just consistently strong serves all the way around. One thing I respect as well is their team discipline as a whole. If the coach or the bench says that's going out of bounds, you don't see a single Eagle jersey in motion. They know when to let it go and kind of downplay that instinct to play it, and I think that served them well.
Yeah, they definitely do listen well as a team, but it's what you like to see is a good communicating team here in middle school. So very, very good work on the coach's side. Number 17 for Harvey, Kylie Grieve, saying it out of bounds. And as we said, the discipline on Bliss Carmen, just everyone putting their hands in the air, not moving a single muscle, and letting the ball land out of bounds for their point.
Yep, you can tell that's something coaches Gillis and D'Entremont really pay a lot of attention to in their practices.
Yeah, Kylie Grieve getting a good dig on that play, keeping it up for Holly Henry, but couldn't quite keep it in play. Number 8 for Bliss Carmen, Emerald Kenberry. Serving over to Kylie Grieve once again, digging into that ball. Couldn't quite keep it in the air though.
Should give a shout out too while we're up here to coaches on the Lakers side. Alumni Casey DeMerchant and Mackenzie Grieve, as well as current grade 12 student Ava Grieve, done a great job in fostering a positive attitude within these girls. You just see their determination.
Yeah, all three, I believe, were ex-high school volleyball players too, so.
Yeah, that's correct. Ava Grieve's season isn't quite over yet. Make sure you stay tuned on Wednesday to catch her on the court.
Yeah, definitely see some interesting work on the coaches, see what they've been teaching their girls.
Yep. It always kind of adds a new level to your understanding of the sport when you step into the coaches.
Yeah, it definitely does. Number 8 served over Emerald in between the Harvey's defense. Holly Henry couldn't quite get the break, see who was getting the ball there, but a little bit of miscommunication. Set won by Bliss Carmen, 25-7. Not quite the score of last set, but definitely improvement from the first one that was 1-25. So it's what you'd expect. Anyway, we're going to send you guys down to the booth for some analysis by Joe and Hannah.
Welcome back, everyone. So, Hannah, end of the third. Pretty interesting, huh?
Yeah, it's going really good.
Oh, yeah. Looking forward to more volleyball happening?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, so if you're just tuning in, the Bliss Carmen Eagles took 3 games away from us so far, so I think we do have time for 2 more games left, sets, to be played, but yeah. So the Lakers seem to be passing more. Some good rallies being played tonight, and just they seem to be more on their feet, more communicating than the last time I've seen them play here. But pretty happy with the results. Coaches are doing pretty well on both ends of the floor, coaching their teams. So, yeah. So Hannah, I hear you're coming back and commentating Thursday for us senior boys, I believe.
Yes.
You excited about that game too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything you're looking forward to that one?
I'm looking forward for a pretty good game.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. So, if you're ever looking to watch some volleyball, tomorrow night senior boys play, and then also Thursday they play as well. I don't know when the middle school girls play, but I think they only have this game and another game left, and then their home game schedule that's it for home games. But yeah, all right. Both teams are now on the floor, so we'll send you back up to the commentating.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back up to the Skybox. Well, it's been an interesting game so far. Bliss Carmen, unfortunately, taking all 3 sets, but Harvey's been playing a good game throughout the entire day.
we've seen improvement for sure. As the first set was pretty rough for the Lakers faithful, but the second set was a lot more competitive, and we saw that first crew get back on the court just now in set number 3 and take some real strides. So looking for even more improvement as the game continues.
Yeah, in the last set we saw Kylie Grieve actually diving for the ball a lot, so very nice to see. Bliss Carmen serving there, number 16. Madison Woodworth serving the ball. Didn't quite get over the net, so Harvey's pretty happy to see that not go over. Danica Goubert serving this time around.
Changing up the angle, don't always see that in middle school ball.
Yeah, changing up the serve, overhand serve. Didn't work very well, just on the inside of the line. Made Bliss Carmen gamble a little bit.
Yeah. Nice work. You check that out on the instant replay.
Overhand serve once again. Just hits the on the top of the net. Lands short in number 4. Lily sends it over to the back line, but caught him by surprise, sending it out of bounds. Danica serving overhand, but bit the dust and just putting it on the inside of the net. So unfortunate by Harvey. Number 2 serving for Bliss Carmen, Emma Kitchen. Overhand serve over to Sarah Jarosp on the outside of her arm, sending it out of bounds over to the Harvey bench. Emma being one of the players with an overhand serve on Bliss Carmen, definitely having a strong and consistent serve on the team.
Tough break for the Lakers there. Ella Durrett looking to play the angle and hit that just a little over, but
yeah, looking to set to Sarah Dross, but didn't quite have enough power on it. Number 18 for Harvey, Adeline Albert, trying to bump it into the air, but just missed it. Emma Kitchen with another overhand serve, saved by Sarah Dross, top of her head, but didn't quite have the flat head and sent it out of bounds.
I mean, that's a highlight reel move if you can make it happen. The headbutt over to a teammate. But
yeah, definitely a fancy move played by Harvey, but not what you'd expect to see. Danica sending it into the rafters, but Harvey think it was going to hit the top and be out of bounds, but quite missed everything, so.
Almost caught our minor officials for this evening, Zoe Henry and Kayla Harris.
Yep, definitely keeping them on their toes as they get the ball sent at them. Sarah Dross keeps it up to Danica, who bumps it over the net. Played by number 14 on Bliss Carmen, Chloe Party, but sends it out of bounds on the overhand spike. Very nice play by Harvey as the bench gets up and starts cheering for them once again.
Always great to have that encouragement.
Definitely does make a difference. Ella Durrett serving. Just barely not getting it over the net. Point for Bliss Carmen. Number 14 for Bliss Carmen serving. Chloe Party. We've seen her do all sorts of serves tonight. Overhand, underhand. It's been quite unpredictable to watch. So
switching it up.
Going with the underhand. Didn't quite work this time around, though, as she sends it underneath the net. Sarah Draw serving for Harvey. Underhand serve, but didn't quite have the power, sending it on their side. Point for Bliss Carmen.
Can be tough to gauge the appropriate power in those underhand serves. Trying to send it over, but not too far.
Yep. Serve from number 4, Bliss Carmen. Lily Doncherman.
Dontremar, I think. Yeah,
Dontremar. Sarah Dross tried to keep it up, but sends it out of bounds. Sends it over to Emma Gibson, who knocks that one out of bounds. Point for Bliss Carmen.
Going back to that last play, though, you mentioned Sarah Dross sliding up. She is one who is not afraid to really dive out for those balls and try to keep them in play.
Definitely do have a couple of rugged girls here on the volleyball team, as you see them dive all over the place trying to keep the ball in play. But spiked by number 15 on Bliss Carmen, Kenzie Price. Big hit by her part.
Yeah, you don't see those very often, as we'll look to check that out on the instant replay.
Just sends into the middle spot of the court. Beautiful on her end. Number 4 serving again. Danica keeping in the air. Number 18 for Harvey. Adeline Albert, and then sent over by Maisie. Number 14 for Bliss Carmen, Chloe Party, bumps it up, but just close enough on the Harvey side's net that they thought it was still on Bliss Carmen's side. Number 4 for Bliss Carmen, Lily doing a great job serving. Sends it up, but there's her commentary's curse once again. Can't quite fake it anymore. Oh my.
It's unavoidable.
I know. Glad it's on our side this time around, though.
Yeah, the commentator's curse does not discriminate, thankfully.
Yeah, no. Up by number 10 from Bliss Carmen. Allie Hannah, bumped over by Macy Grass. Over by Danica, up by 14 for Bliss Carmen, Chloe Party, but puts it right in between two of their players. Couldn't quite, neither one of them wanted to run for it in case they bumped into each other, so I guess a safe play by their part.
Pass was a little out of reach, as well as it came beyond the reach of the defender.
Yeah, number 1 volleyed it up to number 10, Rebecca volleying it up to Allie, trying to get another highlight reel, but couldn't quite convert it. Number 18, Adeline Albert serving. Bumped over the net by number 16 for Bliss Carmen, Madison Woodworth. Unfortunate play by Harvey's end, but...
You can see the Eagles have set that up before, though. That's set from number 1. It's sort of Moore looking for Hannah. That seemed to be a play they were pretty comfortable with, so Lakers will have to keep an eye out when those girls are both on the court on the opposite end.
Yeah, definitely going to have to keep your feet ready in case that play's set up, so definitely something to be nervous about. Number 16 for Harvey. Number 16 for Harvey. Macy Alexander serving. Couldn't quite get over the net right. Number 10 for Bliss Carmen, Allie Hannah. Overhand serve over to Maisie Alexander. Sends it over out of bounds, but Sarah Dross trying to do her best to keep it in play.
Yeah, there's only so much gym you can run to play it in, and so you reach a point where out of bounds is too far.
Pretty much, yeah. Overhand serve once again. Danica keeping in play, sending it back over to number 10, Allie Hannah. Trying to keep up by number 2 for Bliss Carmen, Emma Kitchen, but didn't quite have the power or the angle to get it over the net.
It's tough to get the timing right on those jumps at the net front. So. Lakers doing a good job keeping this one close.
Yeah, definitely want to make the few last sets a close one, keep our entertainment up, and maybe even get some practice in. Sarah Dross keeping it up in the air. Emma Gibson sends it over. Number 16 by Bliss Carmen, overhand serving it. Madison out of bounds, though.
I will say that's some good discipline on the Lakers, too, to let that one go. That could have been a playable ball if they had wanted to.
Yeah. Number 14 from Bliss Carmen, sending it over to number 16 once again. Didn't quite have the power, just bouncing it on the top net, making everyone nervous.
It's a tough spot to be in, though, because, even if the ball does roll back to your end, you'll be guilty of a double hit. All you can really do is hope.
Yeah. All you can really do is pray at that point, so. Lakers score another point, scores 15-13. Emma Gibson serving. Just a bullet over to number 14. Number 2 keeping it up. Danica serving over once again to number 14. Chloe Party, once again, just getting the ball off the wrong side of her hand. Bliss Carmen has been going for a lot of spike plays in these last sets, so I think it's something they're probably trying to work on here. Emma Gibson serving it over to number 1. Danica keeping it in the air. Number 2 puts the ball in the air. Spike by number 16. Up by Adeline Albert. Danica once again trying to keep it in play, but just out of reach.
Tough break. Lakers came really close to tying that one up. I didn't want to say anything to jinx it, but it got a little bit out of reach.
Just a little bit. Ella Durrett trying to keep that one in play, but just sending it out of bounds. Number 16 for Bliss Carmen serving Madison Woodworth. Sarah Dross bumping it into the air, but sends it straight up, so Ella Durrett had to move a little bit. Didn't quite get there fast enough. Number 16 for Bliss Carmen, Madison Woodworth. Just trying to get over the net on the serve, didn't quite get it there. Harvey's bench still hasn't quite had a rest yet, as they've been standing for over, 30 minutes now?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
But they've been providing a lot of energy. I think the girls really appreciate it.
Yeah, that they have. Given them information on when the ball's going out as well, so they've definitely have been a good help on the players' side. Number 2 for Bliss Carmen, Emma Kitchen serving. Overhand serve on the wrong side of her hand, sending it underneath the net. Ella Durrett serving for Harvey. Underhand serve. Not quite over the net. Point for Bliss Carmen. Number 14 for Bliss Carmen, Chloe Party. Underhand serve. Out of bounds though, point for Harvey. As we saw there, the Harvey bench was speaking up, telling them that the ball was out of bounds and no one moved a muscle, so good play by bench part.
I was wondering who made that call, but I think you're right. That came right in front of coaches Booth and the Merchants, and I think it's one of those 3.
Yeah, Sarah Dross serving the ball just out of reach by number 1 on Bliss Carmen, Rebecca Moore, sending that one out of bounds for a point on Harvey. Sarah Dross serving over the ball. Didn't quite get it over the net though. Point for Bliss Carmen. Number 4 for Bliss Carmen, Lily, serving the ball. Underhand serve, almost hitting her teammate in the back of the head, but I think she was ready for that one. Point for Harvey.
Little misfire there, happens to all of us.
Yep, point. The score is 19-21, so definitely a close set. Served over to number 16 on Bliss Carmen, back over to number 10, but out of reach. Number 18 on Harvey, Adeline Albert serving the ball. High lob to number 16, puts it over to Emma Gibson, and Maisie Alexander sliding in, trying to keep that ball in play, but couldn't quite get there fast enough.
Again, the opportunity to tie it on the board, and the Eagles come away with the point.
Yeah, Eagles definitely don't want Harvey to get the lead here. Emma Gibson keeping the ball up. Danica and Emma having a little bit of a clash, kind of sending the ball into the net and back over to Maisie Alexander. Number 1 serving for Bliss Carmen, Rebecca Moore. Underhand serve over to Danica. Up by Maisie Alexander, but puts it on the other side's team underneath the net, so point for Bliss Carmen. Score is 20-24. Set point for Bliss Carmen. Sent up to Emma Gibson, who puts it in the stands. Not quite the ending you'd want to see to a close game, but
tough break for the Lakers. Their closest one yet, but they do drop it 25-20.
Yeah, it was the closest set so far tonight, but I believe both teams will play all 5 sets.
Yeah, they're switching benches, which means it's time for us to switch down to Joe and Hannah.
Welcome back.
Hey. Welcome back, everyone. Hannah, that was a really good game from the girls, eh?
Yes.
Perfect. Yeah. So, what did you think of that?
I think it was pretty good. There's a lot of energy going on, and yeah.
Yeah, girls seemed like they picked up a lot of energy. Had a lot of things going good for them. Great serves, great rallies. So, pretty impressive to watch them and see them doing that. Yeah. Yeah, sure. So, I believe this is the 5th set. So, this is the 5th and last set of the game. The girls yet to seek to find one win. So, that's a little rough, but they played pretty well. And couldn't be more proud of them tonight, watching them come along. And no injuries yet. I know last game, Macy, she had a pretty gnarly fall and hit her head, so nothing too dramatic like that tonight. So that's such a bright side to games like this. A little comedic joke from the referee to one of the players leaving the game a bit early. Yeah. So Hannah, what's going through your mind right now?
Well, nothing much really.
Yeah. So if you're just tuning in, girls lost all 4 sets. Entering in the 5th set, looking to get redemption and get a big win here. Boost their morale, confidence, and all that shebang. So, yeah. Want to give a thanks to Dawn Fletcher for organizing this game tonight and letting the girls play at home. And thanks to the players for coming out and showing that Laker pride and representing their school the best they can. Alrighty. Well, we're going to send you back up to the commentating crew. See you later.
Okay, thank you so much, Joe and Hannah, for that analysis as we get ready for the 5th and final set.
Yeah, Bliss Carmen actually having a smaller roster than when they started during the break. Number 10, Allie Hannah, actually had to leave for some reason. So hopefully, since some of the competition is gone and one of their stronger servers, Harvey will have a shot at winning this set.
Yeah. Hannah was pretty dangerous from both the service line and on hits up front.
Yeah, she's definitely a stronger server on the team, but Danica for Harvey serving the ball and actually having some power behind as she does an overhand serve. Danica once again overhand chipping the top of the net, slowing down the ball, making number 15 for Bliss Carmen, Kenzie Price, a little bit confused and causing it to hit her arm wrong. Point for Harvey.
Should mention it looks like coaches DeMerchant, Grieve, and Grieve have changed up the lineup for this set. We've got Danica Guitard serving, joined on the court by Kylie Grieve, Adeline Albert, Holly Henry, Maisie Alexander, and Chloe Grass.
Definitely good to see some rotation changes as some players get more used to other players' play style and a little bit more skilled spread out through the court. So definitely interesting to see how this lineup's going to play. Number 13 for Bliss Carmen serving it over to Holly Henry. Didn't quite have enough power on it to keep it up in the air though. Number 13, Anna Larry serving for Bliss Carmen. A little bit of miscommunication by Holly Henry as she thought number 18, Adeline Albert, was going to get that one, but she wasn't right in the good spot for it. Hit by Maisie Alexander, but sends it out of bounds. Also believe the defense has changed a little bit for Harvey. They're usually running a 3 up, 3 back, but a little bit of change going on here. Kept up by Danica, but a little bit too much strength and sends into the rafters.
Yep. But you're right, good note on the defense. I'm noticing now that Chloe Grass is actually playing perpendicular to the rest of her team and perpendicular to the net, kind of facing us up here at the skybox.
Yeah. Number 13, Anna serving it over to Holly Henry. Up by Chloe Grass, sends it over. Maisie Alexander sends it over. Chloe Grass receiving it. Maisie Alexander sending it over once again. Sent over by number 3, who's rallying with the entire team. Kylie Grieve keeps it up, but Holly Henry having the last serve, or last hit, couldn't quite get it over the net. So good rally by Harvey and number 3, or number 6, I believe, rather. Bridget. Couldn't quite find the name, apologies. Number 13 still serving for Bliss Carmen, Anna.
She's done a nice 7-point or 6-point run rather.
That she is. Kylie Grief sliding in to save that one, but didn't quite have the speed on it to get close enough. Coach Casey DeMerchant making some changes in the rotation. Received by Holly Henry, but puts it underneath the net. Tough spot for Maisie Alexander to get it up in the air, but not quite much you can do about that.
Sorry about that. Trying to drink tea and show volleyball here. And
Yeah, definitely have to have something to keep us awake up here.
yeah. A bit too much multitasking.
Good serve by number 13, Anna O'Leary.
Yeah, it's not quite the 22-point run we saw in the first set.
And
It's certainly getting there. I think it was after 11 points that the coaches called a timeout in the first. So we'll see as Coach DeMerchant gets a look at the scoreboard.
received by Maisie Alexander, sent over to Bridget, number 3, but no one else was there to keep the ball up in the air for Bliss Carmen. So point for Harvey on there.
Nice to hear the girls on the bench giving some emotional support.
Yeah, Chloe Grass with the overhand serve, sends it to the back lines, makes number 8 for Bliss Carmen Emerald gamble a little bit, but the bench letting her know that's out of bounds, and she stopped and didn't move a muscle. It's a good discipline by her part. Number 9 for Bliss Carmen serving, received by Holly Henry, but sends it just in front of the net for Maisie Alexander, so it's a tough spot.
Yeah, definitely tough to play that angle. And you also have the added pressure of not running into the net. A lot to take into consideration there.
Yeah, definitely difficult to try and hit the ball over and kind of contain yourself from hitting the net in volleyball. Number 9 for Bliss Carmen still serving. Katie Kernew, received by Chloe Grass, up by Maisie Alexander, sent over by Adeline Albert, lands just out of bounds, so point for Bliss Carmen.
Tough angle for Albert there. She wanted to make sure she sent it over the net on the third hit, but kind of went a little too far.
Number 9 for Bliss Carmen, Katie Kernew, putting it in between the defenders on Harvey's side, so it's a little bit difficult to see who's going to get it there. Out of bounds on that serve, though, so point for Harvey.
Referee Darren Doucette almost getting his hands in there.
Yeah. The team seemed to be keeping everyone awake on the floor tonight. Up by number 15, Kenzie Price, but no one else was there to get the ball over the net, so point for Harvey. Score is 15-16. Hopefully Harvey can bring it back. Maisie Alexander with a close serve to the net. Up by number 15, over by number 5. Paige Langio, putting it over on Harvey's side, but not quite everyone was ready for that little hit over there, so quite difficult to receive. Number 15 serving for Bliss Carmen, Kenzie Prince. Holly Henry trying to keep the ball up, but couldn't quite get it. Maisie Alexander was there though, but ran into each other and couldn't quite get the ball in the air. Up by Adeline Albert, and then Kylie Grieve trying to keep it up in the air for Holly Henry to get it, but a little bit of roadblock there as everyone was on the floor trying to keep the ball up. Server for Bliss Carmen didn't quite catch them, put the ball into the net, so point for Harvey. Holly Henry now serving. Received by number 9 for Bliss Carmen, Katie Kernew. Big spike by number 3, Bridget.
There's that textbook first pass, set, and hit that you'll see pretty much all the time in senior ball, but it's a little less common here in middle school. Nice work by the Eagles to set that one up.
Yeah. Kept alive by Adeline Albert, but couldn't quite get it over the net by Harvey's side. Number 5 for Bliss Carmen, Page now serving. Up by Chloe Grass. Hit closer to the net by Holly Henry. On the other side by Danica. Number 8 keeping it alive. Danica putting it up in the air. Adeline Albert putting it over. And then Kaylee Grieve putting it on the other side. Number 13 on Bliss Carmen. Trying to keep it a rally, but tough break as she just couldn't quite hit it with enough palm and just sends it into the net.
Great rally by both sides, but the Lakers coming out. If they can string together a few more of these, might be able to swing momentum back their way.
Up by Holly Henry, but too close to the net for Danica to receive, so tough break on their part. As we saw, number 3, Bridget, had a 22-0 run in the first set, so quite a nervous receiving part on Harvey's end. But once again, commentator's curse hits us and makes her hit the front of the net. Kylie Grieve, Bridget upping it over to the other side. Chloe Grass kept it alive. Danica sent it to the other side. Number 13 on Bliss Carmen's side, Anna O'Leary, couldn't quite keep it alive, but good play by the girls. Kylie Grieve serving over to the other side. Up to by Bridget. Sent into the net though. And point for Harvey once again. Harvey has a quite good little run here. Hopefully they can keep it alive.
Yeah.
Kylie
Good
Grieve
start to
serving it.
things.
Yeah. Up by Anna. Sent over by Kylie Grieve once again. Number 13 with the up. Maisie Alexander up to Chloe Grass, sent it over. Number 15 bumping it in the air. Sent over by number 13, Anna O'Leary. But Danica sends it into the net, ending the play. Point for Bliss Carmen.
Tough communication breakdown there for the girls. We had a couple going for the ball at the same time.
Served by number 8 from Bliss Carmen. Emerald sent over to Holly Henry, puts it right in her face, but didn't quite have the receiving power to keep it alive. Serving once again over to Holly Henry, this time keeping it in the air. Kylie Grieve sending over to Danica, putting it up. Number 5, Paige keeping it alive. Over to number 13, Anna O'Leary, lost it in the lights and couldn't quite find it. Point for Harvey. Harvey bench cheering for Danica as she steps up to serve.
She's had some strong serves tonight, so.
Yes, she has. Said it too soon.
Yep. Well, that serve was strong. Just the accuracy was not quite where I imagine she would have wanted it.
Yeah, number 13 serving for Bliss Carmen. Over to Maisie Alexander. Up by Kylie Grieve. Sent over by Danica.
Nice
up by
scramble
Paige.
by the Lakers.
Yeah, good scramble. Definitely a lot of players stepping up to the nervous wreck on the floor, keeping the ball alive, but was ended quickly by Bliss Carmen. Ending score 25-12. Bliss Carmen walking away with all 5 sets, but all around the first one wasn't quite a close set, but the last 2 were pretty close.
We'll say some thank yous before heading down courtside. Referee Darren Doucette was keeping an eye on this game solo. He did a great job. Big thanks to coaches Jason Gillis and Angela D'Entremont for bringing the Eagles down to play tonight. Zoe Henry and Kayla Harris were our minor officials. And a big thanks, as always, to the coaches, Casey DeMerchant, Ava Grieve, and Mackenzie Grieve helping out as well. Big thanks up here in the booth to Ashton Little, as well as the folks downstairs who include Hannah Finney, Joe Gregory, and Tiana Arnold, the last one of whom will be interviewed as we send down. Thank you.
You want me to sprint and ask one of the plays?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am accompanied not by Hannah Finney, but by Tiana Arnold. How's it going, Tiana?
It's going great.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, if you're a little bit new to what we do here, we sometimes interview a couple of members of our stream team just to let you guys know what goes behind the scenes. So, Tiana, you're no longer the newbie to the crew.
No, I'm
With Hannah
not.
just joining on. So,
Yeah.
what do you do for us? Like, what's your thing?
Sometimes I talk on camera, but I mostly do the scoreboard. I always do the scoreboard. And tonight I did the camera for the first time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not sure how you did. I haven't seen nothing yet, but
Hopefully good.
oh, probably, yeah.
Yep.
So, what made you want to do this?
It just seemed like fun because I like watching the volleyball games and being a part of it, I guess. That's why I joined, yeah.
That's a good reason, eh?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So, not just as like someone working for us, but what did you think of the game tonight?
Tonight I thought the game was pretty good mostly. It's just the girls, like the Harvey girls, need to work on calling the ball, I think, more and moving their feet and following. I think I've always said that.
Yeah.
But that's what I think personally. But overall they did amazing, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you for the quick little interview.
No
Like to
problem.
shout out everyone that's came out, the crew, the refs, the officials. Actually, the minor officials, but not the ref. He came over and picked on me a little bit earlier. So I think that's the last time he'll be reffing in Harvey. I'll make sure of it. But no, big shout out to him. He's usually a familiar face for us Harvey fans out here reffing.
Yep.
He does a good job every time. So thank you all for tuning in the David McMullen Gymnasium. And big shout out, thanks Hannah, for making her debut on the stream team. All right, we'll let you guys continue having a good night.